All right, we are back on the JP side of the game where a new Maki has just released. Now, if you are going to play the JP side of the game, whether you're free to play, light spender, or you're going to spend a lot whale, you should not be really summoning on this banner according to JP players, because then Shibuya art characters are going to be coming and they're expected to be very, very good. Now, with that said, the new Maki and the new Recollection actually aren't that bad according to the tier list. So we're going to go over what the new Recollection and what the new character can do, and then I'll show you guys where they're at according to the JP players on the JP tier list right now. And then we're going to do our one singular multi here on JP. If you don't know, I am completely free to play on this version of the game. So if I don't get her in the 10 tickets right here, then I don't get her. But what I will say is that being completely free to play, I feel like my account is actually pretty decently stacked. I really wanted the last character, didn't get her unfortunately, but that's okay. Like, look at this. We got Sukuna, we got Gojo, we got Itadori, both the anniversary characters. We got the new Miguel, we got Miwa, who's actually the decent one. The green Miwa is good. Blue Miwa that's out on global is not very good. We got Mekamaru. We got all these characters, right? So very good account for free to play. I would say my free to play account on JP almost looks better than my global account where I've spent tons of money. I don't know how I've gotten so lucky, but basically all that to say that I'm hoping when we do these 10 tickets right here in the multi, I get lucky again. So we'll see if that luck carries through or if I get shafted. I did get shafted on the last banner, so it's very possible that this banner I don't get anything. Even if I got the Recollection though, that might be a bigger win than getting Maki, but we'll just have to see how things play out. Plus, I still need other characters, so if other characters happen to come through this summon, I'd be happy with that too. But with all that said, let's take a look at the Recollection and the new Maki. Okay, so the new Recollection is the Tokyo Fukuoka Exchange, and this is actually a very, very good Recollection if you're able to get it. So when ultimate skill is activated, increases own taijutsu damage by 75% for 1 turn 1 time, 6 turn cooldown. If you do limit break it to level 3, it becomes 85%, which is a massive percentage of damage. That is really, really good. And then the limit break skill at the start of the battle increases own critical hit rate by 20%. This is a really good Recollection, not only for Maki, but it can be used like on Toji or other taijutsu characters. So this is actually probably the best thing you can pull, in my opinion, off of this banner. And as far as like placement, JP players right now are placing it in SS category. So if you look at the JP tier list, SS is the highest rank for a Recollection. So it is up there with non-standard, with like-minded sisters, like-minded sisters, with rest for adults, all those other Recollections that are really good, right? So it is up here in this tier. And then if you go down, all the way down, you can see how many other Recollections there are. So it is outshining quite a few Recollections to be here at the top of the tier list. So genuinely, one of the best things to maybe pull off of this banner is going to be that new Recollection, but we'll see if we even get lucky enough to get anything. And then the new Maki. Maki is an attacker type unit, early morning departure Maki, and blue character. So now we have a green, a red, and this is the blue one. So we're just missing a yellow Maki. She does not have cursed energy. She also doesn't have a black flash. Her skill 1 is called Flying Kunai, deals 32.9% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy for 3 hits, increases own ultimate skill gauge charge rate by 23.7% for 2 turns, grants Flying Kunai state to self for 2 turns. Additionally, applies the following effects when in the following states. So Cutting Knife increases own critical hit rate by 50% for 3 turns. All Out Full Sword increases own ultimate skill gauge charge rate by 15% for 3 turns. So able to get her ultimate a little bit quicker with her skill 1. That is nice. All of her skills, by the way, cost 0 curse energy. So that's one thing that's really good about Maki. Deals 275% or 265.8% melee taijutsu damage for the skill 2 Cutting Knife to the selected enemy for 3 hits. Increases own taijutsu damage by 23.7% for 3 turns. Increases the damage reduction rate and evasion chance from the Heavenly Restriction auto skill by 14.3%. Grants Cutting Knife state to self for 2 turns. Additionally, applies the following effects when in the following states. Flying Kunai state increases own taijutsu damage by 25% for 3 turns. All Out Full Sword decreases own damage received by 10% for 3 turns. And then her skill 3, All Out Full Sword, deals 391.9% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy, grants All Out Full Sword state to self for 2 turns. I wish it just went a little bit longer than 2 turns, but that's fine. Additionally, applies the following effects when in the following states. Flying Kunai fills own ultimate skill gauge by 110, and then Cutting Knife increases own critical hit damage by 50%. 50%. So I do think this is going to be like the main skill. Probably we can actually take a look at the JP skill recommendations here in a second as well. And then ultimate instant continuous attacks for the ultimate. Deals 74.7% range taijutsu damage and 597% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy, so a little bit of ranged in there as well. For 4 hits at level 10, it's actually pretty good. 1050%, 150%, and that's going to be for 4 hits of it. You're getting that amount of damage. That's actually really solid. The 4th hit is guaranteed to be a critical hit, and fills on ultimate skill gauge by 110. So after you've used your ultimate, you're already getting part of your ultimate back. So it's looking like she's just going to be able to spam ultimates to some degree potentially. We'll have to see how it actually works if we get her, you know, the chance to test her out. And then for the auto skill 1, early bird gets the worm. At the start of each wave, increases own taijutsu damage by 10% for 2 turns, decreases own damage received by 7% for 2 turns. So that's not bad. That's really actually pretty decent. And then Heavenly Restriction at the start of turn increases own taijutsu damage. 1 turn, the fewer enemies that there are in the way, the greater the boost. 1 enemy, you get 30% boost. 2 enemies, you get a 25% boost. 3 enemies, you get a 17.5% boost. And 4 enemies, you get a 10% boost. Okay, that's fine. I probably prefer to use her against 1 enemy anyways because she has a single target ultimate, so you're not going to be using her in like AoE stages, it seems like, more or less. At the start of the battle, recovers 2% of own HP at the start of each turn, reduces own damage received by 8%, and evades enemies' attack a chance of 8%. Remember, you can increase that chance of evading though with your skill 2. So very interesting character. There's a lot to take in, a lot to account for and think about. Sometimes characters like this are really good. Sometimes they're a little bit more rough to use because you got to think about all the different skills that are taking effect and how to use them appropriately and accurately. So this definitely seems like one of those characters that's going to be a little bit harder to use in my opinion, but could have some decent payoff. Now, JP players are currently putting her in S+ tier, which is not bad. Okay, so if we go down to the JP tier list here, we have triple S tier with these 3 characters, which are just, you know, goated. I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. Double S tier, we have those other characters: Hollow Purple Gojo, Hidden Inventory Gojo and Toji, Gato since he's been buffed, Yellow Megumi, all these characters very good, right? And then S+ tier, we have these other characters that are still used very, very much. Even on Global right now, they're technically higher in the tier list because Global doesn't have all these other characters. But like we have Red Inamaki, Yellow Kaido, Blue Gojo, right? Nobody's going to say those characters are bad. So Maki actually ends up in this S+ tier, which is not bad at all considering how many tiers are still below. S tier would technically be middle of the tier list, so slightly above mid. So not a completely mid Maki, which is good considering where the other Makis are. Green Maki is middle of the tier list, and then Red Maki, I think, was all the way down, yeah, at the bottom, okay? That's even after the buffs, okay? So Blue Maki, finally, they haven't done Maki completely dirty. There is a good Maki in the game. At least it seems like it. We'll see if they end up actually moving her around. It is the first week of her being out, first few days of her being out on the JP side of the game, and a lot of times they end up testing out the character and figuring out that, hey, they're not actually S+ tier. And this rating that puts her here in S+ tier is based on the community. The community votes on this tier list, which is really interesting. So putting her at 9 out of 10 points means that most of the community feels like she's actually pretty good in comparison to her other counterparts. And here's how you would vote right here, just to show you guys that that's actually how it goes. But what I'm interested in is I want to know the skill upgrade order and skill usage order. I want to know what is going to be the best skill to use. So recommended team, there's the recommended team for her, and then skill usage and priority. That's what I'm interested in. And then any taijutsu recollection is going to be good. So skill usage priority, you want to be using the deadly as much as possible. It seems like every other skill is there to get her to the deadly, and then be using skill 3. Okay, so upgrade priority, deadly is actually not the upgrade priority. Skill 2 is your upgrade priority. Okay, if you want to increase your firepower and auto performance, you want to combine skill 3 to strengthen it. So you want to go skill 2, then skill 3, then skill 1, and then deadly. That's so weird. Okay, interesting. So well, like I said, one of those characters that's really weird, kind of out there. We'll just have to see how it goes if we're able to get her in the game and test her out. That's saying a lot though, but I think she's gonna be a good character. I think she's gonna be a little bit complicated though. But with all that said, I guess all we can do now is just summon and hope for the best. All right, here we go. Our 10 free tickets. These came from the event, so make sure you guys grind out the event if you are playing on the JP side of the game. because you will be able to at least get a free summon. Once again, you should probably be saving your cubes, whatever cubes you do have, for whatever character is potentially coming next, because that is highly likely to be a Shibuya character according to JP players. So with that said, here we go. Let's see if we can get Maki. Gojo animation? Nah, of course not. I could hope. Okay, we did have some Curse Energy, no Black Flash though, man. If there was a Black Flash there, I'd be so excited. I feel like we're not going to go super crazy here, but we'll see. 1 SR, 2 SRs. Oh my, okay. And neither of those are probably a fake out, so it's looking like, you know, it's looking like, you know, I'm gonna, you know, I'm just gonna skip it. Dang it, man. Dang it. I was really hoping we'd get something right there. Should I? I'm a terrible person. 300 cubes, whatever. We'll toss one single. One single. Terrible idea. Should not waste my cubes as a free to play on here, but whatever. I would have liked to get at least the recollection, but I mean, I can get recollections every other time I summon, but apparently not this time. I guess we just get nothing. Alright, well, that is what it is. So if you did get Maki, let me know down in the comments. If anybody actually wanted to message me on Discord, my Discord channel is linked below. You can join that and then message me. If you did get this Maki and you want to let me try her out, I would be more than happy to use your account to do a showcase and test her out. But yeah, let me know through a message on Discord. And if you did get her, let me know in the comments how you're liking her. And if you guys did enjoy the video, the information, please consider going down there, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. Peace.